podcast.
Welcome to the thescenesnobs podcast, everybody. I'm your host, Mick Manhattan, joined as always by producer Paul over here on my left, I would say, but you see him on my right. How you doing, Paul? Welcome.
I'm doing good. I like getting my little film lesson of the day with you real quick. It was pretty nice.
Yeah, and I don't mind continuing that on. I just want to say I'm very happy to be here live. The most important live event going on this evening. Thank you, everybody, for watching. But yes, as we were explaining, so we were talking about the Dutch angle, which I have my camera at. And I showed you a scene from Ted Lasso where everything is very even. Everything is kind of cutting back and forth. And then when it builds up and he snaps and he yells for the first time, this is the first time you see this character act out of sorts in any way. It's Dutch angle with him standing on top. It seems like he's even more imposing on top of the player, right? Now, it's not always for overpowering or something like that. Mm-hmm. Sometimes it can just be to show, and you've probably seen it 1,000 times, especially in horror movies, the Dutch angle, because especially in coverage shots, like I can't think of one off the top of my head, but I'm fairly certain that one of the Cabin movies, which either Cabin in the Woods or one of the Evil Dead movies, I could see Evil Dead 2 definitely doing it because Raimi is very good at with his framing. But he, like, to establish a shot that this cabin, something's off, you would do a Dutch angle to kind of show that. And it would convey on screen really well in that way. Like, you'll see it from maybe a low angle, just like kind of pointing up, to get the whole scope of it, and then maybe but like cocked off to the side a little bit. I like that effect. I think that's I think a lot of those old school, which are still very much used today, but with a lot of visual effects kind of ushering in and things like that, it's easier for a lot of productions, especially lower budget productions, to not really take too many chances on setting up too many big elaborate shots. Now, I'm not saying a Dutch angle is, but so, or get a crane if you need a crane, or get a you get any type of equipment, a jib if you need a jib, which, with drones, people are starting to, so like you see a lot of these shots kind of get lost, the ones that really convey the tone. And I think that's been a big sort of switch in movies, I should say, in terms of writing, because now I feel like a lot more is kind of being, like, honestly, force fed to us through exposition a lot of times. Sometimes they'll be shown really well, but again, like, you go back and you watch a lot of the old classics, right? Especially, let's go horror because that's more our stuff, but this goes for anything, and they're all used differently for good purposes. Like, the only ones I don't think that could get away with it ever not using shots is comedy.
Okay.
His comedy is just so much. There's so much timing to it, and the director and the cinematographer and the comedic force, whoever it is, really need to work together. So you need to rely on a lot of those shots to pull it off. Especially like you've seen like a snap zoom, stuff like that. So. It is. It's an interesting thing. Like, I think about it quite a bit, and like, I think you see a lot more stale shots or locked off shots now than you used to. And that's not a bad thing, but like Long Legs, that's one I can think of recently that was just very stale. And I got it. I understand. I didn't dislike the cinematography, but there's no camera. There's no real. It's all angles. It's not really using the camera to elaborate on the story more. And I love that. A really good cinematographer can always do that. Midsummer is a good example of it. He had more locked off shots than I would normally go with, but like Ari Aster's pretty good with his cinematography, especially in movement, and using the frame. He's one horror wise that I think has some of the best cinematography. Since maybe I would say Michel Gondry, who wasn't maybe horror, but had his hands a lot in like sci-fi and fantasy. So Dutch angle, it's just an interesting angle. going to kick it off a little bit. It automatically is going to kind of bring the eye to whoever it is. If you did it, be very much the same, even with like sort of a plain background.
Yeah.
But it will still work. So, but you don't have to. That's just
right.
Well,
I'll say it'll be an Easter egg later, if you guys are watching. I'll throw it in there one episode and see if someone brings it back up.
So, happy November 5th, everybody. It's remember the 5th of November. I don't smell any gunpowder, and I'm thankful for that. But oh God, you're in North Carolina. You're in North Carolina. That's not fair. No, yeah. So like, it's election night, everybody, and that's a big deal. And yeah, I thought it'd be fun not to really get into politics and like who we're following and stuff like that. We don't even have to talk about who we voted for. Hopefully, you all went out and voted again. When it comes to here, never spread hate, never spread any of that stuff. And we all just got to get along in the Snob Nation community. So if you're not down with that, no problem. Go on, take it another place. But that's what we're all about. I don't care what color you wear. Red, blue, green, orange, yellow, purple. Yep. Although, who can pull off? You can't pull off. Okay.
Ooh, which color? What are you going to say?
All right. First of all, this can be a clip.
Okay.
I'm making a declaration. Fat people shouldn't wear purple. Purple is a skinny clothes item.
Where are we drawing the line for? Never mind. I'm not going to open that box, but okay.
I mean, definitely me. Like, I don't think I should wear any purple.
I think you'd look good in purple.
Nah. Have you ever seen a fat guy in just a blank purple shirt before? Or like a t-shirt? Have you ever seen that?
No.
Count yourself lucky. So, dude, this is a public service announcement on this election night. Fat people, don't wear purple. Don't do it. All right? Who else wears purple? Think about it. You have
Barney.
To think. I didn't even think about Barney.
Oh, who are you thinking about?
I thought about Grimace. Oh. Purple is what they're putting on us fat people. They're making us fat people have to wear the purple, so we get laughed at like clowns. We're not their clowns. You don't have to sing the song and hug them. Reject purple.
Or Smoochie. I forgot Death to Smoochie was purple too.
Yeah, but Death to Smoochie was like ironic, so I liked it.
Barney's not okay? What you got against Barney?
I was way too old for Barney by the time Barney came out. I mean, I was entering. If you had to make.
Oh God! How old were you for Barney? Jesus Christ!
I had to be about 9 or 10.
That's not too old for Barney.
I mean, like I had I'd moved up from that.
You were sneaking off to see Tales of the Crypt and all that. That's right.
No, not even that. Let's take that out of the equation, though. But like Barney compared to like Rugrats or Ren and Stimpy,
that's
you graduate from that stuff. And Barney started at a time where I had already graduated from like Sesame Street and all that stuff, and Mr. Rogers and everything. So Barney wasn't on my radar. Power Rangers was for first couple of seasons, and then like I hit puberty, and that was done. I was over. No,
not even for Kimberly, huh? Rude.
Oh no, of course, of course. I mean, listen, I can appreciate beauty of all kinds. Trini too. I forgot to pronounce her character's name. Trini, I think it was. I didn't watch anything past. I watched I had kids before I really realized how in depth the Power Rangers culture has gotten. No disrespect, they got the fandom. I don't hate it actually, because I was a kid and I liked those first 2 seasons. I get it. It just wasn't a fandom I followed through with. So, because I love Godzilla, and if you really want to think about
Yeah.
it, like the miniatures, the kaiju, all that, and that's not just Godzilla, but
Yeah.
kaiju. So, like, it's nothing that I would be against. I enjoy that aspect of it. But I couldn't do it. It's too like you. I think you grow out of it, like because they always like reset with some new teenagers. It's like, all right, you guys are like 21. We're gonna go back to the drawing board.
Too old, you're out.
We'll see what happens. Yeah.
Hell
So if that's my timeline, so Barney didn't fit in there,
Gotcha.
and Pokemon didn't fit in there either.
That didn't slap for me. Pokemon
Pogs
Go did.
I love Pogs. It's all about them Pogs, not Magic the Gathering. Pogs.
Yes, I didn't know about Pogs until that last film set I was on, because that may or may not be a prop used in there, and I was like, "What the fuck is a Pog?" And then they're like, "What?" And then I looked, and I was like, "How did I miss these?"
I wanted to. I didn't know if you could do it or not, and now that I know that you can, like, there's no rights issue. I wanted to, when we started the Scene Snobs, make a sleeve that said the Scene Snobs on it, and have different designs I make for the Pogs.
Ooh, that'd be cool.
And just go like 90s elaborate style and sell them. So, because I could have my buddy does 3D printing. He does anything, sells it off, like whatever they need. I might have him make the Pogs sleeve.
Yeah,
you know, like maybe like the Scene Snobs on it.
that'd be cool.
That'd be fun. You know, like 7 people would buy it.
That's fine.
The 2 watching right now, unless they say no.
Is that the gentleman that gave us the best gift ever at Fear Fest this last year?
Oh, no. Jay is awesome too. He has his own company too. You should check him out. Joe, my writing partner. Well, he's one of my best friends. Like we were like best friends in college. Then we were roommates in LA. I was in his wedding. He was in my wedding. Yeah, so like we've known each other forever, and now like he still works in the industry. So like, and I told you we're writing the script. Well, I know I in depth told you. I don't know if I told everybody else, but yeah, we started writing the script. Now, for people who may not know, I used to work in the film industry, predominantly as producing, UPM, associate producing, things like that. I did write. You know, I've been commissioned to write screenplays, edit screenplays, things like that. Something I absolutely love doing. My dream was started out with writing. I wanted to be a writer of all kinds, but like definitely screenwriting, make movies. So with that being said, not to gloat too much, and it's not like I'm saying it's going anywhere. We're just writing. That's all we're doing right now. So I'm not putting any emphasis on this. I'm not asking for anything. It's not about that. We're just writing, and I'm having a really great time doing it. And we came up with a really cool concept, which I'm not going to share right now until everything's registered. But yeah, I think if we do it and it turns out really well, he and I are going to try and do something with it and maybe make it. So it's one of those things. I'm excited. I'm getting there. There's a few things I gotta like kind of spruce up and pick up a bit. But
I'm excited.
It's so crazy. We're in outlines right now. We're not in script. We haven't gone to script drafts yet. I'm a guy who will not start the script draft until my outline is flawless. I'll do 40 outlines. I do not care. And I'll just go over them. And because you're always going to change something. And when you outline it and you break it up into scenes, and that's how I do it. I break it up into scenes. So that way I can go through, have my summaries, stuff like that. And also I do it on my board, set everything up. So that way I can kind of look at everything. I think it's important to get your outline as toned down. Now, you're not going to do one draft of your script. If somebody writes one draft of a script and then they're like, no, it's perfect the way it is, cool. Sure. Whatever you're going to do. And if you film it, great. That is awesome too. And I think that's an achievement and you should be proud of that. So like, if we write this and we don't make it, we're going to try and sell it. So I'll just say that. So there's going to be multiple drafts because I want it to be really good. And I will say that, and that's not a jab or a slap in the face, but legitimately, the more you write, the more you put in, knowing your limitations of when you need to back off and just let go, you can walk away. So I have an out. I know. And also with all of the countless outline drafts I do, I will know a good guesstimation of how many drafts is probably going to take me before I get it to a point where I really want it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So that's why I'm always like outline, first and foremost, because then it comes in. It's also easier to read when you're piecing everything together if you want to switch stuff up. Because like the aspect I'm writing with this, there are scenes I can switch up and put in different ways. So it's a fun thing right now, and the writing sessions are fun, and we've been recording them, and I'm going to edit those, and once we register everything, I will start putting that out as sort of its own separate podcast.
That's cool.
Yeah, we'll keep it on, and some of them are going to be like 3 hours long, 15 minutes, like talking about like the changes we want to make in this draft. And then like just joking. But I implore anybody who wants to write a script, if you're not writing with somebody, that's okay. You can write your own script and there's nothing wrong with that. I do think it helps to have somebody, if they're not writing with you, to at least be there it can't just be somebody who will tell you what you hear or love everything you give to them. Right. Like my wife isn't the one I kick it off to. You know what I mean? Like I give it to her and I do trust her opinion. Actually, she would be good because she can be harsh. She can be very critical at times. It's straight up, but for good reason. And it is good criticisms. So, and they help, but the way she delivers them sometimes, I'm like, all right, fair. So I did have her read it. She does like it. She likes how it's all kind of coming together. At first, when I told her about it, she was like, yeah, I don't know about that. I was like, okay. I was like, just let me get there. I was like, it's a concept right now. So let me just get there. And now, 6 drafts in. And the funny thing is, like, if I had to guess, I would say probably about 3 to 5 more drafts before I'm ready to write the first.
Okay.
Good. So
fuck yeah. So you're making good headway.
Oh my God. It's just been inspired because of the laughter, but then like joking with you guys and like I think you were on the other day when I was like kind of throwing out like some of the changes I'm making. I have off the air, I'll tell you more about it, but I have taken people we know. And you know this because like one of them is inspired by like you. Oh, it was inspired, but here's the funny: the character was inspired by you. Really just a name. And I was like, but I'll keep him in mind. That will be the guy who's playing the character in my mind as I write this. And it's just grown into this thing. And I'm like, oh, I love it. It's so good. He's such a good no, I can't do it. I can't boast like that. I can't boast like that.
Yeah, you can't do it.
Too much.
You're not wearing purple. Do what you got to do.
If I am good enough at doing this and made this movie, right? And that's a big if.
Right.
The character we made as the villain of this could be a very cool ongoing horror character. Ooh. I will not use any type of word like iconic or this or that. I'm just saying it could be. And that's what it's like sort of grown into. And there's other characters in it that are separated, but also villains in it that could also span out and do something and for good reason too within the story and the framework of what the story does, because it's meant to be like sort of like this. I'm not using that word because it's not what it is. It's not like I was going to say multiversal, but it's not in any way, shape, or form. It's not at all. It's not time loop. It's none of it. It's a weird journey. It's a weird journey that is inspired by something we've all probably seen once before, if we're looking. but I'm not going to. Again, I can't share it. I'm doing it to myself. It's not you, but I'm excited about that character though, if done right. Because I've even gotten back into drawing and I started storyboarding things.
That's awesome.
So
I can't draw in my life, so that'd be garbage. Like, what's that stick figure doing? No, that's so and so. What's that?
I'm not that great. I just kind of like shape the way I want it, like because I've been drawing out like the way I want because there's 7 main demons in it. Or I guess I'm calling them demons right now, but yeah, there's seven of them, and they're all very wildly different. And all their looks are very wildly different for good reason. So I got a lot of excitement. And we've been having a good time with it, but I'm gushing too much though. But I love the idea of writing. It's been fun to write the podcast scripts and stuff like that, but it's not the same. And my reviews are fun, but it's a little more creative, you know? So, but here we are. I'm gushing, but you're here, and I'm probably talking too much. You talk.
Nah.
And
okay. All right, you guys. Well, we did not plan on wearing matching flannels almost, but we ended up doing the same thing because we're just synced up like that.
Our periods too.
Oh, I didn't even want to bring that up, but you're right. You're right.
Yeah. We and listen. I will rub your temples. You can rub my belly, and we'll all be good.
Yep. I'll bring you chocolate, the heating pad, all that.
I figured out who. Did I tell you who I want to be? Who I want to get for our Christmas card?
Ooh, yes. You had just told me, but tell them.
I think. Listen, everybody. Here's the deal. I think it would be funny if Paul and I kind of got into a character for it, kind of had a good time with it, and I really want to know what you guys think about it. I'm going to show you a picture now. Anybody who's listening to the podcast, I'm going to describe this to you and do my damnedest. So if you're watching, just understand. And anybody, listen, I know my demographic. You're all going to probably get it. Paul's the only one who's probably not going to get it. And that is, I think this should be our Christmas card. Fantasy Islands.
But Christmas style. And it's going to be fucking awesome.
It would just be white suits and Santas.
And I'm so hyped for it. I am so excited to do this. Do like a snow background for no reason.
Oh my god, that would be amazing. Oh my god.
The plane, I can't wait.
Plane. Yes. But didn't they call him Airplane or something like that?
Yeah. Or I think it was Airplane. I thought it was or something like that.
Tattoo.
Now I gotta watch
Tattoo is his name.
Tattoo.
Yes, Tattoo. It is the airplane. And I am fuck you, Kirk. Every episode just ends with fuck you, Kirk. That's what I think happened. That's my biggest conspiracy theory. Is that when Kirk sent him down onto was it, I forget, Alpha Centauri 5 or whatever he did, whatever he was. I can't remember the planet. And I know my fans, and please don't hate me. I understand. It's been a few months. We're getting back into Star Trek. We're getting back into War Factor fiction, so stay tuned. But anyway, whatever planet it was, which I cannot remember at this time, I think they went down there and it was Fantasy Island. And then when Fantasy Island got canceled, they're like, all right, let's make a movie. Now you guys are angry. Fantasy Island went away. And that is my conspiracy theory connection.
I like it.
Of Star Trek and Fantasy Island. Now go get your white suit.
Oh, no problem.
We're going to stand outside, and then I'm going to make sure I get that same background and just like
hell yes.
Really disgustingly Photoshop it on there.
I can't wait. Oh my god.
Oh,
conspiracies.
Dude, I'll tell you what. Oh, you know what? Speaking of conspiracies, actually, I wouldn't mind talking about this. So we were talking about, with election night, new president coming up, either President Trump or President Kamala Harris. I don't know why I it's like spaced on that. But what kind of presidents would we be? How would we handle things? So I thought it would be interesting for us to sort of conversate a little bit.
Okay.
About like what kind of president, and I thought it would be funny to like kind of kick it around like it's almost like a interview debate.
Oh, okay.
And see where we kind of land on it. Oh my god.
This is gonna be such a fucking mess. I didn't know this was how it was going. I wrote up policies, Mick. I didn't know it was like this is gonna be such a shit show. But let's do it.
Oh my god.
Here I am.
So President Paul. What do you think is the most important policy that you're running on right now for this country?
Ooh, I think it's one that I just discussed with my fellow council people relatively recently. And if you guys are watching, thank y'all. But it's that it's not illegal not to pay employees an extra hour if they worked on daylight savings, because they don't make it mandatory. So jobs can work you an extra hour and not pay you.
Yeah, I remember those days. So you don't want the payment, is what you're saying.
No, I want the payment.
You're against helping the working force.
I want the working force. I am the working force.
All right, we're gonna move on.
I am actually middle class.
Oh shit, you made it that high?
I mean, apparently, just get out of here, man.
That's what they tell me.
Yeah, apparently.
Middle class look different from my parents. At least from a kid perspective, I think.
Yes. Yeah.
All right, your turn, sir.
Ooh, President Mick. What would you say is the biggest problem in America right now, and how would you fix it?
That's a great question. It's a really good question. I think about this, stay up late at night, and I think about what is our biggest problem. Well, division. Divided, we stand. United. Wait, no. Divided, we fall. Stick to podcasting, Mike. No, divided, we fall. So, like, listen, division is the number one. But how do you end division? The fact of the matter is, you have to listen. You have to get out there. You have to hear. You can't stop. All right. And if it's not you personally, you need to be reported to by people you trust to get out there. And I know that these are positions that exist. I know that these are positions that are out there, and it could easily be accessed. I don't know why I said it so weird. Accessible. But we don't do that. We don't utilize them. We're not listening. Because, yeah, somebody's problems in Greensboro, North Carolina are very different from somebody's problems in Detroit.
Right, yeah.
It doesn't make them any less important. And everybody's running on different things. And now people in Detroit might align with a different party because that's the party that's trying to help urban areas. Whereas rural areas are not getting helped because, or it's the other side that's doing it. We can't do that. We can't think like that. These are our voters, so that's who we have to help. And that's what politicians have been doing for time and time again. What we need to do is we need to assert different, like if I'm president, I need chief of staffs, not chief of staff. And chief of staffs has to start from the two-party system because you have to work within that framework. So my chief of staffs are going to think differently. My vice president is going to think differently. If I'm one way or running one way, he's going to run another way. In a different way. I want somebody who's going to speak out and talk to me and make me see those other sides, because that's how you're going to hear it. All my cabinet positions, I want two in charge. I will appoint two in charge from both sides. Why? Because they're going to argue, sure, but they have to work together and they have to report and we have to get it done. What is best for all American people, not some American people? That's why some are pissed off at one side and some are pissed off at the other. I don't think everybody's a racist. I don't think everybody's evil. I don't think everybody's an extremist. I think people just want to be heard, and they have a right to be heard by the people they're electing. And we need to be out there utilizing that. If we're not putting enough money into the things to help people, then we need to reallocate. We need to do the budgets. That's how this works. And we need to do it out in the open. We need to talk about people. Maybe not share every little thing, but we need to do it in a way where people are more understanding of like, okay, this is what we need to cut. This is why we're cutting this, or cutting back on this, or doing this. Also, well, I'll go to the next policies as I go on, but like that I think is the biggest, and I think that is the way to start. You open up channels. You make people talk. You don't vilify any side. You say we're all Americans. How do we get through this together? So that is my stance on that. So, anyway, question for you, sir. So, why do you hate women?
That's a good question. But,
so nasty and mean. So, all right. No, but seriously though. So talking about that and like coming from a place where I think the vision is something that's probably the worst in this. For you to come back to you about it, do you think it's division as well? And if not, I'd love to hear what it is. But if it is, what would be your best way to handle it?
I think it is division. I think that is a pretty major problem. I think it's a problem that it appears from being the low end of the totem pole that both parties always constantly try to work against each other. So it's hard to see either side flourish when they're the president. And it's kind of disappointing. Like, I wish it was, if a Democrat is president, cool. Well, then any policies they actually want to push can be pushed through, and there's no problems doing that. Same as Republicans, because then we could really see, I guess, if the parties are actually coming true or not. Because it kind of gets muddied, because you don't know if it's the person you voted in isn't doing what they said they were going to do, or it's the opposite party underneath that might rule the House or the Senate that's saying no. And I just don't think that's fair to either, because I mean that I don't know, that just would suck. I don't even have a good comparison, because it'd just be a pain in the ass.
I think more, well, first off, less yelling. Right. Yes, less insulting. I got to be honest, like the older I get, the more I see like politicians get younger and they get louder. And I think just being a father, raising kids, seeing other kids, and like there's no sort of temperance that I see. A lot of times it's like, well, if you come at me, I'm coming at you. And now I'm not saying that's anything new. But it can't be that when you're a politician, and that's what it is. Like, and I'm talking throwing insults at each other and stuff like that. It's just like, and screaming over each other. It's like all I've seen is divisiveness, and it's disturbing, and it really, I mean, honestly, it's there's been no integrity, and that's what scares me. It's like, do I think I think the last two people to run with any integrity were Barack Obama and John McCain. And don't ask me before that. Like that, I don't have an answer for you. And don't give me oh holy Reagan. No. I'm talking about actual character and integrity, and not doing the things you did, because that isn't. So, and I listen, Clinton's in there too. Be shit, I'll be getting blowies under the desk, like fucking disgusting. And one thing about him that drives me crazy too is like, fucker, you had to do this. One thing about him that drives me crazy too about Clinton is like, look at Louis C.K. And now I'm not defending his actions or what he did, right? What I'm saying is that dude got canceled and like lost everything. He had to build himself back up to the point where like he's very rarely even on camera. And again, not defending his actions, but we haven't done shit about Clinton. And like,
Yeah.
we're not saying anything. And like, I'm done with, I don't want any more, you know, even at least at the very least, I don't want any more accused rapists on to run for president. Like, not ones that are even or use sexual, you know, or like, I just want somebody with some integrity. Can I have character? Can I have integrity? Can I have somebody who's not going to shit talk the other person and just say, you know what, this is what I'm running on, and I want to help you. I want to help all Americans, all different colors, all different shapes and sizes. I don't care what you identify as. I truly fucking don't. Now we can get down into the policies later. You know, like, get somebody with integrity in there. But remember, integrity doesn't always mean like, because you think it's right, then it's right. Integrity means standing up for what's right, even if you don't think it's right, but it is the right thing to do. And that's what I want in there. So like, yeah, there's a lot to fight for, but there's also a lot to take into consideration, and a lot of groups aren't. Okay, we're fighting for a lot of things, you know, that we should be focusing together more on bigger pictures. How are we not getting together all of these marginalized groups to fight for an Equal Rights Act, which we desperately, desperately need? But it's always separated. It's always being separated by politicians, always being separated. Well, this group and this group and this group and this group and this group. It's like, yeah, but if you put them all together, which all of them want the same thing, equal rights.
Yep.
All of them want to, so like, let's get together. We're all work together, and you know, us who have equal right. Well, I mean, me, I guess. No offense, but
damn,
I'm trying to take accountability. I am. I'm trying to. Anyway, me. Like, we got to support, and we got to be there for it, and fight the fight too, and get it done. So that's what I'm saying. So non-asshole versions of what I look like. So help out.
Absolutely. Which leads me to my next question for you, future President Mick.
I think I answered your question.
Yeah. Shit. Give me another one.
Oh, take your time. I'm in it to win it.
Okay.
I think I have already gotten 340 electoral votes.
Okay. Out of the 4 people we have watching, I know I can probably at least pull one. I get the bias vote for one.
All right.
Yeah.
There you go. This is your wife, isn't it?
Probably.
My wife's not. Hey, Joe's watching. Joe's a vote for me.
Vote for Paul. I put it in my thing. Like, don't listen to him.
But I'm all about the people.
I don't give a shit about people, and I'm honest about it. So vote for Paul.
And you know what's funny? I'm going to say something.
Uh-oh.
I'm going to say something controversial. So, Donald Trump. I grew up a Catholic, right? And growing up Catholic, you grow up really religious. You grow up really believing, reading the Bible, doing the whole nine. I mean, 12 years of Catholic school, you can't go without reading the book. And I will tell you this, there was a big argument about the Bible he was putting out with, like, was it the Lee Greenwood Bible or Trump Bible or whatever? I forget what it was. Like, it had Lee Greenwood's song in there, had the the Bill of Rights, it had the Declaration of Independence, all this stuff, and the Bible. Stuff that should have nothing to do with the Bible. But I'm going to say this. I don't want to live in a country where he can't make and sell those.
Okay.
That's freedom of speech. So, like, that to me, if I'm going to give him any compliments, I think he should be allowed to do that. You want to make fucking golden sneakers. You want to make baseball cards and NFTs and all that stuff. You want to make a media company or a True Social, whatever. Go for it.
Yeah.
That's the Trump I know. Put him back. Can somebody give him a TV deal? Maybe that's all he wants. Maybe he just wants his show back.
But doesn't he already own Newsmax? I thought that was Trump's network. I assume. I don't.
No, I don't think he can. None of he's running. I don't think he can own a media company.
Oh, then just kidding.
I heard something that Vince McMahon might be starting a media company, movies, TV, all that jazz.
Oh, yay.
Oh boy. Yeah, Samantha said that she would vote for me 100%.
Yes.
Because I'm older. You're not even 35 yet. You can't even run for president.
I was about to say it. I was like, I wasn't born here. Didn't stop Barack. We're fine
here.
You didn't stop Barack. We're fine.
All right. Well, let's. Wait? Who's asking the question? Shit! It's 7:41.
Last question before you make. It's very important since you're not necessarily Republican or Democratic in this scenario we're doing.
Okay.
What animal is your party?
Well, first of all, I do have a party. First of all, and I'm not against. I can take both sides and give you policies that I think are common sense and work. I don't hate either side. I don't align with either side either, though. I have a party. It's a party of one. Always has been. The absurd party. That is my party. Because I believe in absurdism. I believe in not letting what you can't see coming affect you. So, and letting it wallop you right in the face along the way with some craziness. Even if it's like a giant horse dick. Just
that's cool. Right.
It's like hitting you in the dick. Hitting you in the dick.
Or to your friend's minivan during a fan experience, sometimes the shit just gets you.
I'm gonna hit you next time. Chase you down in the parking lot.
Beer Fest 2025, you guys, don't forget.
Oh my god! If I ever bought the Ecto one too, I saw it. No, I didn't almost. There wasn't almost. They weren't selling it. What I called. I was like, I will buy this from you. If I had, there'd be so many people I hit with that thing. Not on purpose. Well, I mean, ultimate fan experience.
I almost hit a kid the other day. I don't know. Any parents watching right now, let me tell you, teach your kids to look both fucking ways before they cross the street. 2 kids come to the side of the road, busy street, middle of the day. Cars going back and forth. I'm behind a car. These kids stop. The kid on the right decides to look left, not look right, and just runs in front of all the traffic. Just said, fuck it. Yeah. He almost got hit. I almost killed a kid. I was not happy. I was more upset because I don't want my conscience. Because, I mean, I know it would have been okay as far as the law goes because he literally darted as fast as he could in the middle of all the traffic. But teach your kids, look left and right. Because what are we doing? I don't want to live with that. And I know the family didn't want to live with that either because the other kids stopped because they stopped. And I was like, okay, cool. They're not crossing. Then you just last second just boop. But look this way. Fuck. I made sure that was imprinted on my kids' brains. Because even growing up in a city, you had to look both ways. If there was a one way, you're like, somebody might be coming. Right. I've seen that shit. Yes. It's like, I mean, I've driven down the wrong way on a runway. So anything can happen. But so I'm always look both ways. And my big thing is look to the right, look to the left, look to the right. You get that 3 right there. You're looking, there's nothing coming. Dart across, get your thing going. Right. Yeah. I mean, so listen, my number one thing, I'll finish off with this. My number one thing, if I was president, I want to cure homelessness and hunger for children. Okay.
I want to cure it, but I also want to improve upon it. I want to build, if not build, give more money towards foster parenting, finding better foster parents who don't game the system, and not just ones, not finding new ones to sign up. I'm talking about finding the good ones that are out there that want to help and make sure they're getting the money and stuff like that. Children's homes, build them up, make them I think it's really important to at least loan towards them. If anything, that I would call that a national emergency. No kid should be homeless. Right. And I'm not saying you shouldn't work on other homeless. Of course you should. But let's start somewhere. Right. Start with getting kids off the street. Start with getting them what they need. Mental health checkups, things like that, doctors, things like that. meals, 3 square meals a day. Also, on top of that, I would make sure that kids in school,
Right.
free lunches, and maybe even incorporate like a baggie for dinner if they don't have anything to bring home.
Right.
If you got extra, bring it home. Why not put more into that? Put more into education. It's got to be about kids. Let's build the next generation to be even better than us. We should be investing all of that into there, especially as government. Like, I'm not saying you have to take anybody out, take parents out, stuff like that. But what parent is against their kid eating, for free? Like, they should. Parents shouldn't even have to have that hassle. It's a public school.
Right.
And those cafeteria workers need to be paid well.
Right.
Because they're in there and they're handling food and they're taking care of things. And it's important. So, like, all of that folds in. How do we help kids? What can we do? Not just, and then build off of that. Start with try and get all kids to be able to eat meals every day. Have a roof over their head. Then build off of that. Then you can go to the STEM, to the different type of programs that they can get into. But like, help all kids first. Then jump over to the elderly.
Right.
We need to work on the elderly to the point where they are okay with retiring.
Right.
Take care of retirement homes, take care of villages, things like that. Like, make sure they're getting the right help, make sure that their money is going into the right places, but everybody's getting what they need. Honestly, I don't think after a certain point old people should be driving, but I do believe they should have transportation whenever they need it. And that should be provided, whether it be shuttle, buses, whatever. When they need it, they need to go to doctor's appointments, they can set it up. It's there. And put that in force. Once you have the kids and the elderly taken care of and say, you can retire.
Right.
You can chill. You kids don't have to go to work at 14. You can go through school. Now you have 18 through whatever age to cycle through jobs, to move up, to do what you got to do. And we can start hitting that. And how does that work? How do we take care of the middle class? How do we take care of the lower class, middle class, and then up? Because I also don't want businesses to go away either.
Right.
But I want them to work well for their employees. I want them to work well with small businesses.
Right.
I mean, yeah, whatever. So you made me rant for too long. You made me rant the whole hour.
You're welcome.
All right. So let's do our top fives.
Yes, sir. I got to pull mine up. So
I got mine right here. I'm ready to go. I'm going to kind of motor through this. All right. Whenever you are ready, sir, I am.
I'm ready. I got my list next to us. So yes, sir.
Right.
Put it there.
Here we go. Number 5. Who's your number 5 on your list?
Ooh, my number 5 is going to be President Thomas J. Whitmore from Independence Day, played by Bill Pullman. Pullman. Jeez, I can't talk.
Bill Pullman. I don't like it. Do you know that Bill Pullman's son was the kid from the New Salem's Lot?
I did not realize that. I can
son.
see that though, 100%.
Yeah, yeah. Once you hear it, you see it. All right. My number 5 is Rufus T. Firefly from the film Duck Soup. He was played by Groucho Marx. He was a prime minister of Fredonia. So it's a great movie, and we're going to talk about that in a little bit more. But that's my number 5. Who's your number 4?
President James Marshall from Air Force One, played by Harrison Ford.
Good one. I like it. He was on my list for a little while. I took off actual presidents, and I put or any actual politicians, and only put fictional politicians. For me, that was my parameter.
I got you.
Number 4 on mine is Jefferson Smith from Mr. Smith Goes to Washington, played by Jimmy Stewart. Great movie. Again, and a politician with integrity and character. I love it. So, who is yours? Number 3.
My number 3 is Mayor Vaughn from none other than Jaws. So that's going to be Murray Hamilton.
I
don't even.
No. It's not even that. It's not that. Well, first of all, you chose a corrupt mayor, but whatever. I'm not upset about that. But it's just so funny because, like, I went with a mare for my third.
Did you?
Yes. We both had mares, and like as soon as you said mare, I'm like, "Are you?" There's no way you thought of this mare. I was like, when I thought of this mare, I was like, nobody will ever think of this mare. But I did like him, and I had to make sure I put him on my list. And that was the mare from Doc Hollywood.
Oh, good choice.
He was in touch with his town. He wanted the best doctor that he could get. The healthcare system was perfect for helping people out. And it was like a thriving little town. They had parties and stuff. So like, I got it, and I gotta give it to him. The mayor from Doc Hollywood, who was played by what's his name from MASH? I can't think of his name. He played the lieutenant. But yeah, just it was so good. I love that movie. But that's my number 3.
Okay.
Who's your number 2?
Governor Gary Johnson, played by Will Ferrell in the movie The Campaign.
That's funny.
That fucking movie.
That was a funny movie. When he's got his second grade thing, and he's like, "Sounds like communism to me." He's like, "I drew it in the second grade." Number 2 for me is Dave from the movie Dave, played by Kevin Kline, where he is a lookalike of the actual sitting president. And when he has a stroke and goes into a coma, he is pulled in by the Frank Langella plays him, Bob Roberts or something in the movie. I don't know why every political bad guy in movies in the 90s was like Bob. So, so they had it in for Bob's. But yeah, it's a good movie. If anybody hasn't had a chance, check it out. So he kind of like gets pulled in to fill in, but he's like a really good guy and he wants to, help people. So it's a touching movie if anybody hasn't seen it. But who's your number 1, sir?
Well, I forgot the first name, but I wrote it down. It's Mayor Wilson from Back to the Future, because he started from the bottom. Yes, works way from the bottom, works way up. He's got to be in touch with his community. Has to, right? I mean, he started in that little shop. Has to.
But here's the thing: the mayor, Red Thomas or whatever, the guy in the beginning from the 50s. He's the bum at the end. And I'm only calling him bum because that's what they call him. He's the bum on the park bench at the end. So that's what happened to that mayor.
Yeah.
So good. Who knows? But yeah, I like it. Number 1 on my list, I could not go with him, is Michael Douglas's character, Andrew Shepard from The American President. That speech at the end is always wonderful when he's just like, he's like, I can't even remember it. Like, he's just like, I can't remember. It's driving me crazy. I hate when I can't remember something. It like left my tongue as soon as I was about to say it. But he's just like, she's not in your, she's out of your league. Stick with me. She's out of your league. Like, I don't know. It was just really good. It was very demanding, very like presidential, and I just enjoyed it. So
hell yeah.
Give me a milk chocolate. What's up, Chad, man? They're gonna be live tonight over at the Video Store Clerks. Go check them.
Woo-hoo. Yes.
All right. Well, let's guys. Oh, real quick before we move on. Thank you so much. Congratulations to the winners of our Beetlejuice popcorn bucket, and I actually gave away the cup already to the winner of that. Dan and Rosemary. Dan won the popcorn bucket, and Rosemary won the cup. Thank you so much. We are doing another giveaway, as you can see behind me, and I will post them. So make sure you're following us at the Scene Snobs everywhere. They're Terrifier souvenir cups from Fright Rags that were just released. They're very cool. I collect all of the souvenir cups myself. They're never used, but that's one lucky winner on our Patreon is going to win. All you got to do is follow us for free or paid tier. And yeah, if you come on and you support us on the paid, all of it goes back into the channel. So lots of perks there as well. But we appreciate it. But we thank you for that. So go check that out and maybe hang out with us. It also gets you into the Discord. So we'd love to have you there. But
yep.
All right, everybody. Here's the deal. I'm gonna review a movie real quick. It's not gonna be very long. I'm talking about Juror number 2. I got a chance to see this movie, and this is a movie. This is Clint Eastwood is directed and produced this one. It's his first in a while. He's getting up there for sure. And he looks it. And I'm not trying to pick on him. I feel bad, but I not liked his most recent movies in the last few years. I felt they were very, especially when he was in them, I felt they were very like just kind of boring and not really well told stories. And like he used to tell. Let me tell you, Juror number 2, return to form. And thankfully it's under 2 hours. So it's only like an hour and 50 minutes, but it's a well told story. Nicholas Hoult plays this really nice, good guy type of character who is he's a recovered alcoholic who's, doing his thing, about to have a baby with his wife. About a year before, they had lost a baby, and it was really devastating for them. So this is a big chance, but he gets put on jury duty for like the last few weeks or something. And during it, he's listening to, it was a murder case, and he's listening to the facts of the case, and he's realizing he might have actually been the one that hit the woman who's dead and thought it was a deer. So now it becomes him trying to have to kind of sway the verdict in one way, shape, or form, and do this, and there's more at play here. It's a very interesting tale. It was really well done, really well shot. Nicholas Hoult does such a great job in this movie. He's such a great actor. Kiefer Sutherland does a good job in this. I'm trying to think of everybody that's in it because there are a lot of people. J.K. Simmons has a role in it, but I don't want to give away too much about him. And a few other people like Toni Collette's in it. She does such a great job. So there's a lot of really good actors in here playing really good roles in a really good story, and I think you're really going to enjoy it. So that's a lot of reallys. Go with it. My rating for this one right out of the gate is 4 out of 5. Go check it out.
Oh,
I really enjoyed it.
Hell yeah.
Very good. And it's a good drama thriller.
Okay.
But it's not overly intense either.
Okay.
So it's just one of those. Return to form for Clint Eastwood, so go for him. But it's about that time, and that time is to talk about the Venom: The Last Dance, the 3rd installment in the Sony Venom movies that are going on with Tom Hardy, which supposedly are the last, but who knows what's going to happen this time around. So before we get into this, there is a series called King in Black. And basically you find out more about Eddie Brock and the Venom symbiote, and how they're connected, and where the Venom symbiote sort of comes from, who Null is in it, who is the King in Black, who controls all the symbiotes. And there's a lot of tie-ins to many things that they go back to in the Marvel comics. It's a really well-told story, and I urge people to go check it out. That version of Venom is at his best. He's a father in it, and that plays into it big time. There's so many different aspects of it. So King in Black is a damn near great comic run. What they did here, there's some egregiousness to this movie, especially that final credit scene. This sucked.
Yeah.
This is the 3rd installment. Basically, Null has now sent creatures to come and get the codex that rests within Eddie Brock and his symbiote. So I have no enthusiasm for this movie. It was like, it seemed like it was just a way to introduce the Lethal Protectors, which are the different symbiote characters we sort of get in the end. It was to venomize some things, which if you read King in Black, there are like Captain America has a Venom symbiote. There's, the Thing has a Venom symbiote. Like there's so many different Venom aspects that are all like characters that you really care about. In this, we got a horse and a frog, and it just missed on all the marks. And it just, I got to be honest with you, it's on par with like this Madam Web and all this other disasters they've been putting out. What did you think of this movie?
I was look, I'm always disappointed when the trailers literally give away any of the decent scenes or the parts you will enjoy in a movie. If you give all of them away in a trailer, it's fucking garbage to me. Sorry for my language, y'all, but this movie was like that. What you see in the trailer are the only parts I semi enjoyed this whole movie. I had to watch the first 2 just to be like, was I wrong about Venom this entire time so far? And Venom actually really sucked. And then I was like, no, the first one was great. The second one was really good. This one, what the fuck? So,
see, I think I'm a little bit behind you on that. I think the first one was pretty good, and the second one was okay. Because again, with the Carnage storyline too, you got a lot wrong with that. And what pisses me off is if they're going to continue King in Black storyline, and incorporate a Spider-Man, one of them, whoever they decide to incorporate. Why couldn't we wait?
Yeah.
Why couldn't we fucking wait and do Carnage right? Why couldn't now you are introducing the Spider-Verse. So pick a Spider-Man, roll with it. I know you can't go with Tom Holland, but pick freaking one of the other ones we want, which we're telling you we're cool with, which we're telling you to go with, and you're not doing it.
Right. Yeah.
And you can make it so much fun and so much more interesting. And it just pissed me off because now King in Black is just wrong.
Yeah.
I don't need King in Black to have all of those Marvel characters venomized in it. But you've now just given me a bunch of cool spider characters that you could do that to.
Right.
But you're not going to. No, because you're just so stupid.
Because it made too much sense.
And then, like, even that egregious, like that, and I'm gonna tell you right off the bat, like that end sequence, that end snippet or whatever, was the end credit scene was just like with Null talking and just like and basically staring at us and having the gall to say, and you will watch. Like, we're gonna just eat up whatever the fuck you fucked it up. I don't care. I don't care what happens with King in Black. You are going to have to convince me, Paul, to go check that out. I will not pay to watch that. Because you've done nothing with these properties since. I mean, and I'm not giving you credit for the Tom Holland ones. So since the Andrew Garfield one, and even that second one was a stretch. Like, you really screwed up the villains of that. The Amazing Spider-Man 2? You think that was a good Green Goblin?
Oh, okay. When you specifically say Green Goblin, okay, that's fair.
And it wasn't a great Rhino either. It wasn't a great Rhino either. No, he was great. I think that's what pissed me. And like, I like the fight. I would have liked to again. I call it the sound of music effect. I would have liked to have seen that final fight, considering you didn't really give us a good one with Electro and Green Goblin.
Yeah,
like that would have been cool. And like, he has to fight him while Green Goblin's fucking around and drops Mary Jane or something. I don't know. But there was no emotional depth there either. We're supposed to just buy them used to be friends and now they're not friends. It was like the first three movies, you're like, all right, I get it. These two were friends since they were kids. But I don't know. So yeah, it's stupid. But this movie, let's give it ratings for it. I gave it a 2. I think you gave it a 2.5. Paul liked it a little bit more. He saw some stuff with the horse that he really dug.
I did. I won't talk about it, but I had to pause it a few times.
He wanted to fly with that horse. He was like, I want to fly with it. Oh man,
it's my Falcor. Since I can't like the never-ending story anymore, I was like, well, I guess we'll go with it.
Like it if you want to like it.
Nope, I can't like Falcor anymore. So let me go ahead and get a
bullshit. I don't like it. I didn't say you.
We're together, Mick. We're matching clothes. We're matching thirds on our list. Like, I gotta respect the boundaries.
Listen, it is what it is. All right.
I'm gonna name him Treyu though, just to be petty.
Oh God! Thank God. Well, that's our ratings of Venom in our review of Venom. We just didn't really enjoy it that much, but let us know what you think. Sound off in the comments on either one of these movies. Let us know what you think. Love to hear what you guys have to say. Now, because it has been a political type of talk tonight, I went with a political mixed movie pick. And we talked about it a little bit earlier, and it's from 1933, and it is Duck Soup from the Marx Brothers. Nice. It's a very funny movie. It's completely satirizing politics of the day, which a lot of it will shine through to today. So you'll get that aspect of it, and I think that's one thing I really love about this movie. And this is also going to be our classic film review, so we're going to get a little more in depth about the making of it and stuff like that. So make sure you're following, subscribe to us on the channel. If you are following us on Patreon, we share the links up there, so you'll be able to do that as well. We're going to be having some lives coming up soon, things like that, which we would love for you guys to be a part of and hang out with us. But the Scene Snobs podcast only has 2 more lives left this year. We're going to do something for Thanksgiving. We'll let you know when that comes out. Make sure you're following us on social media or at the Patreon so you can get our newsletter and find out what, when's what's happening. And our Christmas special. After that, Everything else will be recorded. We will have episodes coming out every week, but it's all going to be pre-recorded, so you can make sure you check those out every Tuesday. They will be available like this, available to watch over on Patreon or on our YouTube. Make sure you subscribe, and then or head over to our Patreon, because we're going to have a lot of fun stuff there too as well. Paul, before we get going, is there anything you would like to say, sir?
Just very quickly, you guys, regardless of what happens tonight, try to show compassion to other people, love each other, accept one another. We all have different opinions on different things, but we can all try to get along, try to listen to someone, and that goes for me as well. Like, I'm not saying it from a place of I'm better than everyone. I do that all the time. I don't, but I'm just saying, let's not spread the hate. Let's try to make the best of whatever the situation is going to be in 24 hours from now. And make sure to keep watching, keep listening, keep loving the magic of movies.
Couldn't have said it better myself, my friend. Yes, absolutely, everybody. Let's show love. Let's show care, kindness. I don't care if it's Kamala Harris who wins or Donald Trump who wins. They're going to be my president. And they're going to be your president if you're here in America too. And the best way to get through the day is with positivity. Show love. Show care. Kindness. The world's not fair. I know that. But I've always said, and I try to teach my kids and everything else, like, because the world is not fair, people should try to be. So if I can leave you with anything tonight, going forward, try to be a fair person. Always try to do things in kindness. Always try to do things the right way, the way you think is right. And I don't think you can really fail at doing that. But for sure, if you just have fairness in your heart for everybody, even if they don't have it for you, if you're showing kindness and fairness, I really do think that can move mountains for you. And I do believe in that. So thank you guys. And again, no matter who wins, peace, love, happiness. Again, I don't care what side of the aisle you're on. I love you. I don't care how you identify. I don't care how you look. I don't care who you are. I love you. And you should love yourself. So remember, everybody, be kind, stay classy, and take care of yourselves, because I'm pretty sure I always say that's important. And we will talk to you next week. Take care. Ooh, that was good. I think
we are still live.
Oh, well, hello. Now I can end it, I think. An error occurred.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, you guys, we're at